Hello and welcome back to Ray's Gaming and more Arc Raiders. Today we're talking more mistakes you might still be making, little things that are going to change your gameplay, give you that little edge. So I hope this is all useful. Let's get straight into it. If you're trying to push trials, which we are this week with some interesting stuff like, spawning a bunch of wasps using snitch tricks, maybe you're delivering carryables and that kind of thing. Whatever it is, there is a really good tip that I have for this. The bottom left you can see 2 times the points on major map conditions. And there's an icon for that you can easily track. If we look at Buried City with no event going on, there's nothing here on there. But if you look at the night version, you can see you've got those double points. But the tip here is major events, not just night raids, such as the Hidden Bunker as a perfect example. It has that 2 times points on it, but different modifiers about this raid. With the Hidden Bunker, instead of a raid lasting 30 minutes, it's 40 minutes. And in this context, players are more likely to be distracted by the event, leaving less players around normal other locations where you might do some quests or trials or whatever it is you want to do. This works for, say, the Spaceport Tower loot one, particularly relevant for the damn battlegrounds with the Harvest of the Queen, because people like fighting it the most there. And I'm sure future events will happen. So if an event of this kind like Hidden Bunker is available, it can be a great place to do those trials or push some other side objectives, nothing to do with the event, but in an easier context. Next, I want to talk about barricade kits, which are kind of ridiculous. I was sleeping on them, no longer. As you can see, they can be clutch for healing up a teammate. In a scenario where someone's holding you, just pop one down and then you get to res for free. Inside different environments, they're ridiculously good. You can straight up close off a corridor, preventing people passing your way without making a lot of sound to do it. There's nothing stopping you from putting one kit down, then a second and a third, to like triple up and prevent the progression. This is relevant in both solo and team fights. Something as simple as setting up a little bit of cover for yourself, even if it's just 2 for the 90 corner one, giving you nice protection while you're looting, say a bastion or something that you've killed. Maybe you're doing that for the trial. But my god, are these strong inside. A lot of us know about the lab environment in Manticore now. There's that one security room that you just have to breach into. It's got incredible loot. But if you go solo, you're going to be surrounded by players. A door blocker's not really going to work. They're just going to open it up eventually. But a barricade is different. You can put it on the open door or give yourself a little bit of space to step out and work with, covering yourself from, say, the stairwell. Even in the true open environment. When we were doing the snitch spam, we set up a nice area for cover to actually deal with the hornets respawning in, but also protecting ourselves from the only way you can get to us, via a ramp on the highway, blocking that entrance. If you've got it available, you can use the utility station and one mechanical component to craft one of these, or you can direct buy them from Apollo, the grenades and gadgets for 1,920 each, 6 a reset. But next, let's talk about ziplines and their incredible utility. I really feel like they changed the game, letting you push on a rooftop for a fight, surprising and harassing people. You can also use them to access normally locked rooms. Anywhere where a window is open, like this one, you can sneak in. I'm sure we know about the Spaceport trench towers and getting onto the roof there. And you can do some cool tricks with them, like you can actually fire while going, just with some inaccuracy. If you look up or down, this chooses the direction you're going to go up and down or across a zipline, which does also allow you to do a 180 and change direction, and ziplines will stop fall damage. So you can drop from a huge height and then grab a zip and stop all fall damage. But be aware that once you reach like a max momentum, you will need to activate that zipline earlier than later to actually stop the damage. On that note, here's a little tip to do with ladders and fast dropping down them. Yes, you can quick go down a ladder by holding shift and just sliding down. It's not terrible, but there's a faster way and one that's a lot harder to shoot if someone's aiming at you. If you just step to a ladder and step off so you're still pressing against it while falling, you can reactivate grab the ladder at any time, just like landing on a zipline. This will stop fall damage. So it's a great way to get to the ground really quick with these. Just be wary, as you can see, that if you activate this a little too late, you'll reduce the fall damage but not fully stop it, just like a zipline. Here's a quick look at a very familiar kit for me right now. Not fully stocked up, to be fair, but herbal bandages, your shield recharges, adrenaline shot, we all know this. But I strongly recommend light impact grenades and little smoke grenades as super cheap resources to craft and run. At the explosive station, you can easily make these for chemicals and plastic parts. And at the utility station, you can easily make the smokes for chemicals and plastic parts. You don't have to run 5 out of 5, but say 3 is my go-to number. Let me show you why. With impact grenades, as they are dirt cheap, you can easily force people off corner holds, breaking their recharge or just preventing them holding you, and then you can swing them. And obviously this concept works with other grenades. When dealing with raiders, the very most impactful option is going to be trigger nades, dealing incredible damage, and you get to time the explosion. So if you want to invest more in that concept, you can, but at bare minimum, impacts cost basically nothing, especially when you've just traded with someone and you want to stop them from recharging their shield and heals. In regards to the pop smokes, god, they're clutch. Whether it's protecting yourself for an extract as you're leaving, covering the environment so you can just go, covering a teammate so you can actually get them up. This example, right? My teammate's down and he's put himself in a terrible position with a 3-man holding me. Using a combination of barricades and pop smokes, not full smokes, I cover the area, get the defib off, and we reposition and end up winning that fight. People are sleeping on these just because they trigger a smaller area of smoke that lasts less time than a full-on smoke grenade. But they're comically cheap and easy to run every single raid. Utility really changes things. Speaking of which, if you're playing in a team, why do you not have a defib? Each one of you should have at least one. It's 3,000 coins, it's nothing, and you can infinitely buy them unlike other things. If a teammate suddenly goes down and you instantly defib him when they're not expecting it, their advantage suddenly disappears, and you can turn a fight that seems like a loss back around on people. There are so many scenarios in like the last couple of days where I've just popped a smoke and defibbed a friend in the middle of a fight with no cover, and it's changed the fight. Simple, obvious, important tip that I just want to reiterate. If you're clearing a room that you don't know if it's clear, roll into that room. If someone's holding an angle, they're just going to swing and pop you, cracking your shield or whatever damage they're going to deal. Then you have to return now things are in their favor. Upon entry, if you think there's a chance someone's holding you, just roll. It can save your life or change your fight before it happens. Now in regards to buying things, there are things you can buy only a certain amount every day, right? But I just want to highlight the ones I think you should be buying. So again, all 3 zip lines, incredibly relevant. Otherwise, you're going to need to find rope as a specific item to craft them, which I find is a lot more of a faff than 3k. Every day, make sure you're buying your 1 raider hatch key, and every run that you're going to be risking some good loot, some better equipment you're concerned about. Maybe you're going to go hunt down some arc and you want to get the parts out. 9,000 coins is well worth that trade, alongside crafting them to be fair. There's quite a few things to consider at Lance's shop. The first thing I want to highlight is the Tactical Mark II, maybe the most common and popular and yet cheap rare augment in the game. The reason for that is it's the smoke grenade pop that we talked about before. You're seeing it in basically every PvP fight these days because it's so good, giving you that chance when someone smacks you to break line of sight and recover the scenario. It's only 6,000 for 1 every day, easy buy. I also buy medium shields, giving me a healthy stock to permanently run them. I basically avoid running light shields as much as I physically can these days, giving you that slightly increased damage reduction. On that note, a pretty meta thing to pick up is Used to the Weight, which will reduce how much this actually affects you, which I'm now beginning to work on. Now obviously I've got Security Breach. Arguably, I could have picked this up sooner. You could also buy a heavy shield once a day, that's up to you. There's a lot of debate right now as to whether it's worth it with a reduced movement speed. Lastly, obviously, most important, buy your 1 Hullcracker every day. I don't care whether you're using these or not, you're going to use them eventually for queen hunting and big arc hunting. You can buy 1 a day, and that is not enough for the purpose of getting to level 75 and lots of different content, such as the trials with the Bastion. You can also buy launcher ammo infinitely here, and that's pretty much where I get it from. So let's talk about those Hullcracker XP runs. Super simple concept. You take yourself to a map, doesn't really matter which, but I would say Buried City is the worst one. Spaceport and your Blue Gate, probably the best options. And go hunt big arc. You can do this solo or in a group. Solo, I'd bring in 2 stacks, so 224 shots. And go hunt big arc until I'm getting low and extract. Leapers die in like 4 or 5 good shots. If you get behind a Bastion or a Bombardier and shoot the back battery pack, it's over in no time. Otherwise, with a Bastion, you just find any kind of cover that you can swing on the left, then swing on the right. Or if you can shoot its legs out without actually hitting you, that can deactivate it for free DPS. Super simple. If you're solo, I wouldn't recommend fighting rocketeers unless you know what you're doing. But this leads to incredible XP. We're talking between 50 and 80,000 XP per run. It's comically effective. If you do it in a group, you have more protection. If one of you dies, your team can get the Hullcracker and get out and bring it back for you. There's more danger of PvP threats though, obviously, so you need to be smart. And if you're worried about your Hullcracker, it is fine to get like 1, maybe 2 arc kills, get a couple of those cores that are worth the money, get out early, and then that pays for the ammo for the next run, and so on. And this piles XP, and is how I'm currently level 65 without really too much effort. Doing them like once a day maybe. Alright, recently I talked about the concept of calming stroll. While walking, your stamina regenerates as if you were standing still. This only activates when you're over encumbered in a walk animation, or if you manually trigger it. which you'll need to keybind. This is what it looks like, and if you can't tell, it's faster than if you're crouching around. So if you're wanting to sneak up on someone in a nearby room or whatever, it's basically the same level of silent, but quicker. The only reason to crouch will be hiding behind cover that you don't want them to spot you, or you've invested 5 out of 5 into Agile Croucher to improve that movement speed so it's less of a comparison. Ultimately, inside corridors and buildings and such, when I'm walking up on someone or trying to get away from someone, I just stand and walk. It's just a lot faster and quiet. Okay, one of the things that I'm absolutely loving doing right now is experimenting with where I can drop down and get away with it with a mantling. It's something I've talked about in the past, so very quickly, if you hold spacebar, you don't have to time it or anything. You'll automatically mantle on any ledge, stairwell, whatever. This will stop fall damage. As you can see, it can be used for some clever flanks, like climbing up on top of the annex via the ladder, then dropping down in the center, preventing fall damage by mantling. But it can be used in some really slick ways. Whether it's dropping down stairwells really quick, as we've talked about before, or specific case ones, like dropping to the extract from the annex balcony. This is a great way to sneak into someone else's extract if they've called it down below you. But there's some really cool stuff you can do with, say, lampposts. There's a bunch around spaceport, like this one on the roof here, letting me drop down from a high up roof, down onto these cars, and getting out of that situation. Repositioning on someone that they simply weren't ready for because they knew I was up top, and then I suddenly came up from below them and took them out. Just be aware that if you fall for too long, you will no longer mantle onto something, and you got to make sure you're facing the thing you're trying to grab onto. Otherwise, you just hold spacebar while falling, and it's so easy. Okay, quick thing I want to talk about with how much ammo people are bringing in, especially with the rise in popularity of the torrent as people are really getting into this weapon. As you can see, it takes 70 shots in its default state at level 2 here. With a mag, that goes up to 78. But as I grab this medium ammo, it's not automatically filling it up as we're in the loadout screen. When I load into the raid though, that 80 shots is going to automatically load into the gun. So 78 of that 80 stack in this case. That would leave me with one single reload in this raid before I run out of ammo, which is obviously no good. So if you're using bigger mag guns, or you're using shotguns in general, by the way, same concept is very relevant here, just bring more ammo. Think about the fact that the first stack is basically being consumed, and if you want to reload, you're going to need 2 stacks as backup as a minimum. Quick word on the augments that I'm running right now. Again, Tactical Mark II, most meta, most commonly run concept for an augment. The trigger of the smoke changes the fight, everyone's using this, we all know it. But the downside here, obviously, is the 45 max loadout weight, which is incredibly limited. You'll win one team fight and then be over encumbered every time. So when it comes to the epic ones, there are some fantastic options to consider, such as the defensive option. This gives you a built-in shield recharger, which has a durability that allows you to restore your shields without using your own resources. Then you got max weight of 60, and you can run heavy shields if you want, at the very least medium. Alternative to that will be the Combat Mark III, aggressive. This just gives you straight healing. So in the many scenarios where you take damage, you restore your shield, you can actually just let this recover you back up without worrying about bandages, which can be a really handy thing. 65 max loadout weight, 2 grenade slots. It's honestly awesome for PvP. There's also one that I don't have access to right now that I've ran quite a lot. The Tactical Mark III, I believe it can come in healing and survivor, but basically the point is it gives you 3 safe pockets and medium shield potential, massive loadout weight. My favorite one to run for any loot run, any big run, such as hunting big arc or obviously hunting the queen, because those 3 safe pockets guarantee me a reactor in each one every time, which is major. So on the biggest loot potential runs, that's what I want to run, and I'm desperate to get the blueprint for it. Last topic for today then, I just want to highlight that players seem to function like a T-Rex or something. When you're the last man or whatever scenario it is, it's like they're desperate to spot your movement. And shockingly, just standing still can be the difference. Last time I talked about the fact that just pushing yourself in the middle of a bush and staying still hilariously works well. As my teammate goes down here and there's no chance for me to win this fight without trading, I pop myself in this bush, don't move, and they cannot find me. They spent a few minutes running around me in circles, couldn't find me somehow. So, a lot of people were like, yeah, well, if you mess with the settings, bushes don't exist anymore. And there's this super popular Reddit clip that shows that. But in that Reddit clip, it shows how the type of bushes I'm talking about aren't affected by the different settings. Whether you have the high or low settings for the bushes themselves, or the render distance thing that's happening as well. Admittedly, in that one, there's this craziness with the trees disappearing, but the bushes aren't. Let me show you a comparison. Here is Josh in a bush. We're staring right at him, And the only reason we know he's there is obviously because you can see his icon thing because he's my teammate. But if you look at his character, you can't really see him. And as you see me walking up, yeah, you just don't see him. Then we take the settings and put them down in the way that that clip shows, and it's the same thing. But let's take bushes out of this topic. Here's Josh in a scenario where he's in a room, they've been swung, his teammate goes down, he's screwed, so he just grabs himself up on this corner, puts himself in sort of any cover he's got, sits still, doesn't move. They spend the next 10 minutes looking for him and give up. A simple hiding spot of any kind and then just stay still can be the difference of your survival in those kind of crazy situations. So just try it if you're out of options. But yeah, there you have it. There's another set of stuff that I just wanted to talk about. Some of the stuff I've been thinking about over the last couple of days. Once again, I hope this was useful to you. And if it was, do drop a like. And again, if you have anything you want to add to the topics today or make a suggestion for this series, because I'm certainly happy to learn more and apply more to my gameplay. And if I talk about something you share with me, we'll credit you and talk about that. Until next time then, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.